Hey, Frags. Very excited. Again, I think we're all in agreement here. I would prefer... I'm going to keep repeating myself just for people joining us. I would prefer they not show anything. But if they're going to show something, I'm going to watch it. Emote only mode. Good for PlayStation. Good for you. That's why PlayStation's the best. No. Like, if there's something out there intentionally released by Naughty Dog, we're not going to be able to stay away. It's impossible. Remy, thank you for Twitch Prime. Okay. Move my mouse. Oh my, you're right. Sorry, I'm like a teacher. Stream looks pretty good. Beep beep. Let's see what they got.
I know you wish things were different.
I already heard this.
I wish things were different.
Probably just replaying the most recent trailer.
But they ain't.
Please stop!
God, this game looks pretty.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
To do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
Hi, Tommy.
Do they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
You can't stop this.
I want what you want. But not at any cost. I really hope you make it.
I bet you he's the Bill of Part 2. Jesse, I think his name is.
I have to finish it.
There's a cost.
We could have killed you. Maybe you should have.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director of The Last of Us Part 2.
Yes, you are.
We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands. The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times. We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well. Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before. Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an in-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2, including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around for that.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away. They were actually going to make a cure. The only catch, it would kill her.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game. Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming, amongst a thriving community of survivors. With the threats of the world
Got a
kept
little
outside the
emotional
town's
for a
walls,
second.
Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even stability. Ellie is now 19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our kiss from last night?
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice. Her journey will take her to new parts of the country previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore, rendered in meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine. Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it. The city exhibits drastic shifts in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles, allowing you to discover new areas, resources, and side narratives.
Grapple hook.
These more open environments also create new strategic considerations in combat, whether it's to get the jump on enemies or bypass them entirely.
Runners.
The Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains.
Damn.
Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them. However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly. As Ellie uncovers the path to finding those who have wronged her, she must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources. One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF. The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance to the military occupation of Seattle and eventually wrestled control of the city from them. They are highly trained, organized, and well-equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city, imprisoning or killing trespassers on sight.
Hey, we got another trespasser, a girl. Did you see her?
On the other side of this bloody conflict is a group of religious zealots called the Seraphites, or Scars, defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces. Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover, and they use more silent weapons like bows and arrows.
Clip her wings.
But beyond this conflict among survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected.
Oh, God.
They are the recently infected runners, who are more numerous and aggressive in this game.
Melee weapons.
The blind but extremely deadly clickers, and the stalkers, who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustule. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait until you play the game for yourselves.
Damn right. Like a dragon?
Overcoming these threats
That's what
will
it
require
sounded
careful
like.
consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage.
Let's get in there.
The WLF patrol the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover.
You think this guy's connected to the girl
They can
from
pick up your
school?
scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause distractions to avoid detection.
They could be hiding anywhere.
25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass or crawl through tight spaces to find new paths or areas to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage. If you absolutely have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow. Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move. Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Back off!
Yeah!
Got you now!
Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose whether to attack these opponents separately and directly, or find ways to pit them against each other.
Infected and humans, right?
Flee as they fight, or wait until their numbers have thinned out and engage with whomever's left.
I was waiting for something like this. There's so much potential for this. They didn't have time to put it in the main game. They barely had time to put it in Left Behind.
Our goal is to create unparalleled
It was a
attention,
little messy.
coupled with deep systems that give you
waiting for
greater
that.
control and influence over your journey. As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items, weapon, and player upgrades through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience.
They did
We
change
also
the
wanted to
clicker
extend
animation
that
a little.
agency and personalization to your weapons
Their
through our
arms
new
move
workbench
slower.
system. Scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character.
Is that a flashlight? Or a scope? It's a scope. Is that a dog?
Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines, explosive arrows,
That looks
pistol
different.
suppressors, and more.
I want to look at that. Oh yeah, definitely looking that over again.
All of these gameplay systems are meant to immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey. As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
We can't wait for you to experience it all for yourself on June 19th. Until then, here's an extended sequence of never-before-seen gameplay. Enjoy.
Which is just a small fraction, people. Let's take a look. Can she swim? Of course they would show this off. She can swim! You know, they could cut it right here, and that's all. They would have satisfied everyone.
Did you find her yet?
Shit.
Escape while no one was looking. We're searching the area, just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Can she swim underwater, though?
What the fuck are they talking about?
Yep. Swimming looks very similar to part 1. The water also sounds exactly the same. Which is fine. I'm just pointing things out. Okay, he would totally hear that there's someone in the water, but video game logic. I hope it never goes away. Ah,
Sound.
earbuds.
Hands up. Do you know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
Oh, right in the jugular.
Fuck. That was dumb.
What are they playing? Who the hell's Nora? Come on, you take Sam's toy, you can take that Vita.
Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shit me? They put you with Joe again?
Upstairs.
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do. Oh, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
I saw blades on a hammer.
Fuck. Sounds like scars are getting closer.
Hope that's our guys executing those freaks.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
Well, I heard that Isaac wants
Small
us to retake
reticle
all
size,
of
that looked good.
downtown.
I heard we might take the fight to them.
Oh, no way. Not after what went down last time.
Listen mode.
Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
It's what I heard.
He was about to turn around.
Calm down.
I noticed square was the only option. Wonder if there's something else you could do there. With Joel, it was...
Charlotte! Roger and Sticky tape from that way!
Alright. They're not alert. She's not alerted yet. That was cool. Instead of the enemy going like this and looking at her, they literally got their gun off their back. And, like, that's the equivalent of the enemy, like, saying, I think I see someone. That was cool. They saw her die, but it wasn't an alert. They're just like, I think she came from over there. Dog! listen to the music. It's cool. Oh.
Just like that.
Assault rifle. No, it's a rifle.
Saw movement.
I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit! Shit! Look out!
Smoke bomb.
Over here! Drop her now, crook! Asshole! I found her!
Oh, to the jaw! Also, the blades go down by 1 each time. It's not durability, it's the amount. Looks pretty easy to aim. Oh. Can't leave. She's looking for 2nd floor. That's right.
Damn it! Find another way up!
Yeah, I'm noticing like the humming and then the alert sound. It seems like it's more response. It seems like you're not going to get alerted as easy. In part 1, if an enemy ever flinched, you were alerted. Now it just seems like they have a general idea where you are. It's more lenient. I think there's going to be less alerts, which I really like. They had no clue what was happening to them on the bottom floor.
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
That's gonna make a loud noise.
Don't scream. Put that shit down.
Who the fuck is she?
You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
That was cool. That was cool. I'm an idiot. There's an alarm going off in our building. I thought that was in the game. I guess I should leave. I feel really stupid right now. Well, we are definitely watching that again next time. I don't smell anything. Yeah, I should probably see what's going on. My landlady's still here. I thought that was in the game. I feel very, very, very stupid right now. Okay. I'm gonna go see what's going on. Should I leave the stream on or not? Okay. I'm gonna at least just go see what's going on. I gotta get my mask. It's over there. Well, I'll let you guys know. What a weird day. That looked amazing. And to think that that part of the game is probably less than 1% of the total game. That looked really, really, really cool. Okay. Someone in my building burnt some food. The hallway smells like... Why do I still have this on? Idiot. The hallway smells like something burnt. You can't time this stuff, really. This place has been very quiet, very, like, a very nice place to live. And yeah, this is the first of anything like this. Yeah. Weird. Let's watch it again. First was the trailer. We don't need to watch that again. Here we go.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director of The Last of Us Part 2. We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands.
1080 is as high as I can go.
The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times. We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well. Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before.
It is
over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an...
It is in 4K, but I can't stream in 4K, so it's pointless to put it at that.
In-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2.
This is all to take a look again.
Including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around.
There's no way this game's going to be bad. It just can't be. Again, I still don't have super high hopes for the story, but come on, the gameplay, come on, man.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her.
It's weird that there's... I'm going to be stopping and pausing. You know, this is going to be like a breakdown of everything I see. It's weird that there's soldiers out there. Must be just fireflies on the outside of the building. We never really saw the ground floor out there. And he must have just drone right off.
Take her to the fireflies and walk away. They were actually gonna make a cure.
I wonder who he's talking to.
The only catch, it would kill her.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game.
Looks great.
Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming, amongst a thriving community of survivors. With the threats of the world kept outside the town's walls, Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even stability. Ellie is now 19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our kiss from last night?
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice.
They had to have done something. They had to have done something pretty bad for her to just go through all of this. It's still in Jackson. See? Just noticing. Good looking building though.
Her journey will take her to new parts of the country previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore, rendered in meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the...
I mean, look at that. Come on. Come on. Oh my god, the leaks, the game's horrible. Oh, I'm not gonna buy it anymore. Yeah, okay.
Latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine. Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales
what was that thing on the bottom
in what
there?
remains of Seattle.
Fuck Fedra. Who's Fedra? Oh, my eyes hurt from wearing the mask. Oh well.
A massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it.
An aquarium.
The city exhibits drastic
Ferris
shifts
wheel.
in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles, allowing you to discover new areas, resources, and side narratives.
The first thing that
these more open environments
that came into my mind was like, oh god, another Uncharted 4 grappling hook. Whatever. It doesn't look like she can use it wherever she wants. I think it's just in specific spots. Like a pallet puzzle.
These more open environments also create new strategic considerations in combat, whether it's to get the jump on enemies or bypass them entirely.
Runners.
The Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains.
This is cool.
Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them.
What was the QTE like there? Someone said you can skip frames with the right key.
Some streets are...
So what does this look like? Do you just have to time triangle in the white section?
Flooded that a boat is required to navigate them.
I don't know.
However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly. As Ellie uncovers the path to finding those who have wronged her, she must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources.
I don't know if anyone's played Metal Gear Solid 4, But literally what happens in like the first area is Snake is trying to get to one person and one person only. And he has to go through a war zone where there are literally two sides fighting each other. And you can befriend one side, so literally half the enemies don't actually attack you. Maybe. So, like, they sort of already done that in gaming, but it wasn't done as well. That was a 2008 game. But I seriously doubt you can befriend one side. It was just something that reminded me of that.
One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF. The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance.
All soldiers' instructions, blah blah, Fedra collaborators will be executed. Permission required for leaving assigned zone. Curfew will stay in effect until further notice. Just like a quarantine zone.
Resistance to the military occupation of Seattle, and eventually wrestled control of the city from them. They are highly trained, organized, and well-equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city, imprisoning or killing trespassers on sight.
Hey! We got another trespasser. A girl. Did you see her?
On the other side of this bloody conflict is a group of religious zealots called the Seraphites.
If you see me looking down, I'm just looking at chat. I can't have it on the screen here.
Defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces. Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being...
That looks similar to a Hitler salute. Not quite, but... I don't know. Gives off that vibe a little bit.
stealthy, using overgrowth as cover, and they use more silent weapons like bows and arrows.
Clip her wings.
But beyond this conflict among survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim.
Oh, this was cool. Look at that. You never, like, when you got killed by a bloater, you never actually got to see its teeth that much. I don't think that's an infected. I think he just...
Infected.
Oh, that's cool. That is so cool.
Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected. There are the recently infected runners, who are more numerous and aggressive in this game.
Melee weapons. I like to see
that. Who are more numerous and aggressive in this game. The blind but extremely deadly clickers.
Looked like another arcade in there. Look to the right. Sort of a Left Behind vibe right there. Just pointing out things.
The blind but extremely deadly clickers. And the stalkers, who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence.
Which I still hate that concept, but if it works... I've always said I hated the concept of stalkers. Runners, they see you, they run at you. Clickers, they hear you, they run at you. Bloaters, the same thing. So in between runners and clickers, there's a stage of infected where they see you and then they hide strategically. It doesn't make sense. I've never been a fan of that. But if they can find a way to make it work, then I'm all for it. The design looks cool.
Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustule.
That looks cool.
Large, heavily armored.
Look at all the pus on them. Man, if you got trypophobia, maybe this isn't the game for you. Ugh, it looks gross.
These that are covered in pustule. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait until you play the game for yourselves.
I like that. Building hype with that.
Overcoming these threats will require careful consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage.
get in there.
The WLF patrol the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover.
You think this guy's connected to the
They can pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause distractions to avoid detection.
They could be hiding anywhere.
25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass or crawl through tight spaces to find new paths or areas to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage.
Nothing really to point out.
If you absolutely have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack.
I'm gonna go through
Agile
again.
and most to fight your way out, there are variety.
It seems pretty self-explanatory here, but I don't know. It still looked very cool. Like, how many swipes can you go before they start swinging as well? Because a little pocket knife, swiping a little pocket knife is not gonna do much. I think they save this, like, the stabs for like when it's near death. Same thing in with the Ellie combat in Winter. You know, you can swipe at an infected like 3 times. It does damage, but it doesn't kill them. Now, if David punches one twice, and then you run up and swipe it, it's an insta-kill, because there's like a health bar. Each enemy has like a health bar that you can't see. But, yeah, but this looked cool. And it looked like she was dodging things, but they weren't actually happening.
Variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies.
There's a couple
she can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons.
See, right there, it looked like she was dodging.
And quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack.
Maybe there's just this, once you're a certain distance between an enemy, the game has sort of like this built-in combat, you know.
You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow. Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move. Or buy...
There's not... I can't really recall anything you can do here. One thing I have noticed is, you know, in part 1, when Joel would, like, grab an enemy, not alerted, he would, like, choke him out. But if you were alerted, he would do things like hit him over the head twice, or knee them in the face, or throw them down and step on them, like a custom... I think there's, like, 3 different things he can do there. And I think the same applies here. If you grab someone stealthy, the default seems to be shoving a knife or her pocket knife right in here, and then you get a couple others. I think I saw... Well, I think I just saw this one. She stabs her in the... Stabs her in the back. Like so.
Using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure...
Now, another difference here is I don't think, because Ellie has a pocket knife and she's not going to kill anyone with her fists, I don't think there's going to be like a shiv option. I think using the knife here is the only option. I'm sure you can like shoot the person as well, but there's one not QT, but there's one button prompt for holding someone up, where in part 1 there was 2, either shiv or kill. Or you could shoot them. I think that's going to be exactly the same here. And it's cool how... when you kill this one, the person you're grabbing immediately calls her out by name.
You're out your next
listen. Ashley. It was so fast it almost sounded a little, not glitchy, but it was almost a little too responsive, which I guess is a good problem to have. It's literally like, Ashley, right away.
To protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move.
If there was a slight delay, maybe it would sound a little bit better. Like, oh, Ashley, that's just me. I'm sure it'll sound nice when we play it.
Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Stalker. No plus signs. Don't want to see it. Companion help. I like that.
Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose whether to attack these opponents separately and directly, or find ways to pit them against each other.
This is what I was really looking forward to.
Flee as they fight, or wait until their numbers have thinned out and engage with whomever's left.
A sequel was worth it just to pit humans and infected together. And I noticed Doc mentioned this as well in the chat. Like, I always noticed in part 1 the way clickers like flailed their arms when they were trying to walk towards you in the alert phase always looked a little weird. They literally just doing a bunch of arm circles. Here it looks a little slower and a bit more realistic. See if you can pay attention. There's one to the left. They're literally just like reaching out. Looks creepy.
Our goal is to create unparalleled attention, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey. As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items,
I already made a video about all
and
this.
Player upgrades, through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience. We also wanted to extend that agency and personalization to your weapons through our new work.
Yeah, it's we call it the Neil Druckmann bug because he acknowledged it's a bug. You can't stun clickers if they're alerted and they're right next to you. You can, but it's like a coin toss. I made a video about it. I wonder how that is for this game. We'll have to see.
Bench system. Scavenge for parts to modify
I thought this
and
was a
improve your weapon's
flashlight.
performance
Like, that
and
would be
attributes,
cool.
all of which are visualized and
I
become
think they
part of
made
your
a scope
character.
using a flashlight, maybe? I don't know. Looks like it. Looks cool as hell, though. And this looked like a smoke bomb. It's a stun bomb. This is the stuff I wanted to look at. So you have 3 alcohol, 1 rag, 1 bottle, 1 explosive, 1 no binding, and no blades to make either medkit, Molotov, stun bomb. Looks like a trip mine, blades and a melee weapon, silencer for a pistol, or explosive arrows, maybe. And then you have the supplement upgrades here, and then anything you pick up here. Looks like something could go here too. There's also the thing for parts.
Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines.
Oh. Can you craft your own arrows? Because that's a look at that. What's the difference here? Can you make your own arrows? I know. I was gonna mention that. Look at the body.
Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment.
Give it a sec. We'll get there. Right in the eye socket.
Which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive.
Look at her right eye. Our left, her right. That's lovely. That's how I want to go.
Items like proximity mines, explosive arrows.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Offensive and offensive.
She went over it. Explosive arrow. Detonates on impact, dealing massive damage in a large blast radius. Saw that. We knew we could make these.
Like proximity.
Standard ammo for the bow silently kills enemies. Crafts 2 arrows. Apparently all you need is binding and blades? Really? So to make a bow, to make an arrow for the bow, you need some tape and some blades, and that's it. Well, to make a nail bomb, you just need blades and explosives. Who cares where, like, the canister comes from? Okay.
Explosive arrows.
Alright, so that's officially known as a canister. So you need a canister for that. I guess they're doing away with the nail bombs? I guess. Maybe. They're replacing it with the trip mine.
Pistol suppressors, and more.
Wait, hold on. That's actually a good point. Do you need a canister for a Molotov now?
Explosive range require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of
alcohol and rag. No, just alcohol and a rag. And rag. The bottle comes from nothing. I guess so.
And
as usual, there's from part 1, there's the almost alert sound, like it sounds like a humming. It sounds exactly the same as in part 1, which is fine. It has its own unique sound. It's like Metal Gear reusing the alert sound in their games. Okay. That's a lot right there. So you can craft explosive arrows, or you can craft arrows. You can swap the weapon completely to shotgun, probably. Or you can also swap the ammo to normal arrows or explosive arrows. Same thing here, triangle would get rid of the silencer. Okay. So if I wanted to craft normal arrows, I would hover over this, hit triangle, and then X. We'd have to get used to it. Ooh.
all of these gameplay systems are meant to immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey. As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2. We can't wait for you to experience it all for yourself on June 19th.
1324, something
Until then,
pops up.
here's an extended sequence of never-before-expensive items, like proximity mines,
1324, another crafting item pops up from the right side of the list.
explosive, wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines.
No. You have the trip mine, or the stun bomb, trip mine, explosive arrows, silencer.
Explosive arrows, pistol suppressors, and more.
And I also noticed something right there.
Explosive arrows.
You can obviously only have one. I wonder how many... Does it
Parts
say?
and ingredients that you'll
Yes, I
find in
didn't
the
notice
environment,
that.
which can be crafted
Kinda
into a
just
wide
like before. You can only have... I didn't notice this before. You can only have 3 medkits.
range of defensive and
3 Molotovs, 3,
offensive items, like
3
proximity
explosive
mines,
arrows, 6 normal arrows. Can you really only carry 6 arrows at a time? Joel could carry 9. Next to the blades. The requirements. Yeah, you got your alcohol, rag, canister, explosives, binding, and blades.
Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide...
You have the requirements. This, so this requires this. This requires the same thing.
range of defensive and
I guess these 2 require the same thing. Let me look.
that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive...
Oh, is there something to the right of there? Let me see.
And offensive item.
Explosive and... So this and this for these 2. These 2 for that.
Like proximity mines.
Didn't see that. Thank you, guys.
Pistol
did not see that. Sorry.
Defensive items.
All right, let's see.
Like proximity mines.
Let's take it frame by frame. That must be to upgrade a melee weapon? No, it's... What could that be for? Well, it only pops up for this. Melee upgrade. Restores melee weapon to full durability and increases its damage. So if you have... Days Gone did this. If anyone played Days Gone, you can use the parts you have to either upgrade your bike or upgrade your melee weapon back to full health. So can it do one or the other, or does it do both and increases its damage? Requires these right 3. Binding, blade, and a melee weapon. Oh, so I guess this right here is a melee weapon. Okay. I don't recall they had that in part 1. Like if you go into Joel's backpack, he has... Well, when I'm doing my run tomorrow, blades, binding, rag, alcohol, explosive, and sugar. I don't... No, I think there was a... No, of course there was a spot for melee weapon. Yeah. Yeah. I only upgraded a modded weapon once in the game, so that's at Henry's. I totally forgot. Yeah, there's also a melee weapon upgrade one. Okay. Seems like the only thing they're ditching here is sugar. Or maybe it'll be added later. Because what do you got? Your blades, your binding, your rags, your alcohol, your explosives, and in place of a sugar, I guess it's a canister. For these 2. This one is basically a smoke bomb. This one is basically a nail bomb. They're just called something else. And then this one's your melee weapon. Restores melee weapon to full durability. So if I have a pipe and I used 8 hits, I can do this to bring it back to 9 and put a blade on it. Or maybe it just puts a blade on it. No, restores weapon to full durability and increases its damage. I guess it would restore it to the however many hits it has left in the modded weapon plus 9 hits afterwards. I guess. That seems a little weird that you would be able to do that. Seems cool though.
Explosive arrows, pistol suppressors.
Thank you for pointing that out. I missed it. Man, there's a lot there. Even just right there. You can tell that she's been through a lot already to have all this. You can tell by the dots. She only has the pistol and the revolver on the right. And there's another gun. Now, this had never been seen before. There's a little red dot right there. Which probably means... No, if she didn't have anything, it would just wouldn't be there like this. Maybe it means you're out of ammo. I bet you that means she has a shotgun with her, but it's just out of ammo. And then triangle. Yeah, triangle. Triangle says something different based on what you're hovered over. See, here it's triangle to remove silencer. Over here, it's triangle to... swap ammo. So it actually lets you know what it says does. And there was something else. I want to see if anything popped over here. Nope, for the rifle it's just swap weapon. I wonder if there's a triangle for the revolver too.
All of these gameplay systems are...
My only question so far is, can you really only have 6 arrows at a time? Maybe so. Maybe.
Meant to immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey.
Okay, then we saw this.
On June.
Alright, it's only like 9 minutes long. Let's watch it and one more time straight through, and then I'll go back and just break it down. The arrow only explodes when you hit someone. I don't know about that. I think it would explode regardless.
Did you find her yet?
Shit.
Because what you could also do is aim it on the ground in between 2 people.
Just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Escape.
Alright, we can watch this without a fire alarm going off. Explosive melee weapons. No, you can only have 3 modded arrows. And it said you can only have up to 6 arrows. But maybe you can only craft 6? I don't know. Well, that could be the 9. 6 arrows and 3 explosive arrows give you 9. I'm saying 9 because that's the max you could have Joel carry. He couldn't have any more. I saw someone on Twitter think the girl at the end was Riley. I doubt it. That'd be one hell of a theory, though.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
Easy. Easy.
Do you know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
Brutal.
That was dumb.
Someone said that was a Vita.
Boat's away. Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shitting me? They put you with Joe again?
Upstairs.
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do. Oh, this is not fair.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
watch
telling
this
you,
twice.
Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Fuck. Sounds like scars are getting closer.
Hope that's our guys executing those freaks.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
Well, I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
I heard we might take the fight to them.
Oh, no way. Not after what went down last time.
That's the same exact
Even
sound
Isaac isn't that crazy.
of the listen mode.
That's what I heard.
Who's Isaac? Just some random bruh?
Shut up. All right. Calm down.
There's stuff I want to mention, but I'll wait until we watch it once, all the way through again.
Charlotte! We're under attack! Sticky tape from that way!
Aw, poor pupper. There's a really good Twitter page, Can You Pet the Dog? And in different video games it goes over, can you pet the dog? Yes or no? You can do more than pet the dog here. You can pet the dog, but it's gonna hurt like hell.
Just like that.
Looks like she hasn't been exposed to explosive arrows yet here. I like the impact that has. Dude, hold on. I'll wait until it's over. She only took the magazine, not the gun.
Saw movement. I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit!
This looked like it didn't work.
Shit! Look out! No! Over here!
Yeah, that didn't work.
Now, crook! Asshole!
There's the alert stab, which is different from the throat.
I found her!
Lovely. Ugh. That takes off a lot more face. Those guns aren't doing a lot of damage. Reticle size looks pretty big, but I think she was moving. You know there's going to be stuff like that. You got to stop sprinting here, start up again here. Alright, I can listen to this part without any fire alarm going off. I totally thought that was in the game. Flashlight looks pretty good. Very eerie.
That you, Nora?
What song is that playing? Yeah, they would definitely hear that.
Abby was so good herself.
The fuck was Abby here?
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
It's Ice Cube. Of course it is. Get a celebrity on your side. That's a good way to promote the game. Oh, why wouldn't you grab that? It's right there.
Don't scream. Put that shit down. You remember me? Yeah. You remember me. Yeah. You remember me.
Alright, let's watch it from the beginning and actually listen. It looks so good! This demo didn't really give away that much either. Someone on Twitter said that's Riley. Yeah, sure, she's immune as well. She changed her name, yeah. That is quite the theory.
Did you find her yet?
Shit.
Jake, while no one was looking. searching the area, just in case she's still around.
I don't know
Isaac's not happy about it.
if... Isaac. I don't know if they're talking about Ellie.
Escape. What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, I don't think they're talking about Ellie there. Hey, I'm just saying what someone else on Twitter said. It's like, that'd be some theory.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
Easy. Easy.
Do you know a girl named Nora?
Sure, yeah.
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
That girl must have been really weak. Because all Ellie had to do was just be like, just grab her wrist. She's like, she wasn't budging. Wait, hold on. Alright, I can't tell. I was looking for that. There's something happened later that I noticed.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shitting me? They put you with Joe again?
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do.
I'm gonna listen to them.
Oh, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
This all looks exactly the same that we just went over. Anything different? Alcohol rag, canister explosive, binding blades, and a melee weapon. To craft medkit, Molotov, stun bomb, trip mine, silencer for pistol, modded and fully upgraded melee weapon, and arrows for now. Explosive arrows haven't been introduced, I'm guessing. And alright, here's something I noticed.
It makes these shifts so much easier.
Look right here. Alright, I guess you can tell. In part 1, it was very easy to tell if you had a quarter, half, 3/4, or a whole of something. This obviously lets you know you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But I'm trying to see how easy it would be to tell if you have half of something. It's pretty dimly lit here. Maybe it'll look better on our screens. And I think if it were also in some of these, it would show. Yeah, this is the same color as this. Alright, it's just a coincidence that she has exactly one whole thing of everything and they're leaving the fractions out. I wanted to know how visible that would be.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Fuck. Sounds like scars are getting closer.
Scars?
Guy's executing those freaks.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
Who's Scars?
Sounds like scars are getting closer.
Hope that's our guys executing those freaks.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
I heard that Isaac wants...
From what I can tell, I think the reticle... I think I went over this before, but the reticle is different. It has, like, the little missing pieces when there's a silencer on it. Not that that means the reticle's going to be, like, not grow when she's moving it. But it does look a little different.
Did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
I heard we might take the fight.
Scars is another name for the cult.
No way. Not after
Okay.
what went down last time. Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
It's what I heard.
The religious group of the Scars.
Shut up. All right.
And right here, kind of hard to notice, but right there, he was about to turn around from the noise she was making by standing and walking towards him. One more time. See, right there.
Shut up. All right. Calm down.
And then a quiet kill. Okay, that's what I wanted to point out. So in Last of Us 1, you know, if they think they see you, if you're close enough to them and you're in their line of sight, they flinch and then there's an alert. If you're far enough away from them, they're just like, hey man, I think I see something. And then there's the alert. Here, they cut out the, like, hang on man, I think I see something. And what it is, look. She like takes the gun off her back ready to fire or something. Very, very cool. Now also in part 1, if you're standing, let's say you're behind 2 enemies and you're going to arrow one of them, all right, how do I describe this one? Let's see. Like there's an enemy here and an enemy in front of another enemy. Like there's 2 enemies back to back looking at each other walking in the same direction. If Ellie kills like the further one with an arrow, in part 1, basically if another enemy sees another enemy getting killed stealthily, they automatically know where you are. Alert sound, she's over there. Which I always thought was kind of weird. Well, hardware limitations, I guess. But instead, here, someone else is probably looking at her. Here, all you get is like, oh my god, she died. I think whoever killed her is over there. It's not an instant alert. They're aware there's someone here, but it's not a real alert yet. So yeah, I thought that was a nice upgrade. Like I was saying, I think the alerts are going to be more lenient. You know, they're not going to be as like random and unpredictable as in part 1. In Winter, playing as Ellie, you could stab an enemy in the throat and everyone knows where you are. It's weird. It's really weird. They're just kind of guessing now, which I like. Listen to it all again. That would so be an alert in part 1. Do you hear that little sound effect? What was that? Right there. Did you hear that? After you pick this up, listen. That little ch-ch. And this thing highlights, which is, instead of like a tutorial popping up on the screen, remember you can upgrade melee weapon or something, the game's just like, hey, remember this is here. Did you hear that? It's like a little reminder. Okay, I want to look at that again. So you're crafting there. And then from there, 2, 3, and you have a melee weapon. You can probably only have 1 melee weapon. I doubt you could have 2. Full durability. I wish we would be able to see. Like, this piece of wood obviously only has 3 hits on it. But I wish it had, like, 1 or 2 used to see if you upgrade this, would it go back to 3? I guess so. I'm obsessing about that because it just seems kind of weird. But, yeah. Volume too low. It's all the way up. Oh, and I learned about this recently. I didn't realize for the longest time Joel actually has a lighter with him. I guess Ellie has one as well. Okay.
Someone's out there.
Aw, poor doggy. But I will point out the radius looks different in this game. Normally in part 1 it's just the outside ring is solid and the inside is empty. I'm pretty sure. I think. I need to check. I don't remember. When I throw Molotovs, I typically aren't able to see the ring anymore. Maybe it's the same. It looks a little different though. Ouch. Also, Gustavo's music is in full display here. Ambiance. Alright, anything here? I wonder if there's RNG to arrows breaking. I wonder if she had to aim for the head there. Just pointing out some stuff.
Just like that.
The little X pops up when you kill someone. Just like in part 1. Nothing new there. This one was cool. I don't know how many people saw it, but... Do you see the difference right there? Watch. There's the gun. Instead of just hitting triangle and the gun disappearing and you have a bullet like in part 1, all she takes away is the clip. The magazine. That's kind of cool. And then it stops glowing as well to let you know there's nothing to pick up from it. Now, how does the wheel work there? So she wants to switch out to a rifle from there, so it would have to go up twice. Yeah, that's the thing that's kind of weirding me out a little bit. In part 1, you kind of... I guess I understand why they have to do this. In part 1... Oh, look, they do it there, too. I didn't notice that. So if you try and swap out a weapon, it's going to do it for, like, both holsters, not just one. See? I find it a bit odd that they would have, like, 2 different things. I feel like that's a little distracting. Wouldn't it be better to just show just this and then go from here to here? Whatever. But yeah, then it does it automatically. And again, I'm going to keep mentioning this because I really, really like it. In part 1, all an enemy has to do is flinch and you're alerted. Sometimes, even like you kill an enemy quietly, they didn't flinch and you're still alerted because like they must have like missed the kill by a frame or something. Here, oh no, no alert. And I really like that. I think Uncharted 4 was a bit like that as well. More lenient alerts. I really am a fan of that. Also, the arrow sticks in his head here. Lovely.
Saw movement. I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit!
What was that X there?
Holy shit!
This looks like a bomb, but it's just a... It's a stun bomb. It's a smoke bomb, basically. Apparently it's a smoke. Now I'm confused. Is it a smoke bomb or a stun bomb? I'm getting two different... In the backpack said stun bomb, and here says smoke bomb. Whatever. Maybe I misread something. This didn't seem to do anything.
Shit! Look out! Move! Over here!
What did that smoke bomb do? That didn't do anything. What I think happened is it accidentally hit the table here instead of going through here, which is what the player wanted. I do that all the time in the bar, in the searchlight area.
Shit! Look out! Move! Over here!
That smoke didn't do shit. There's a modded weapon. Alright, I thought it had 3 blades in it. My mistake. It just has the 2. I want to see the impact here.
I found her!
Oh, beautiful. That guy's a good shot. And then you can see the reticle's more full without the silencer on. No, someone mentioned throwing the smoke bomb. Look, it shows up red when it's going to hit something that you probably don't want it to hit. Like, this is too close.
Holy shit!
See right there? Like, that's too close. Don't do that. Same thing with the Molotov. If you're not, like, manually aiming it, the little circle will glow red if you, like, can't throw it. And then it'll be white again when you do want to throw it. It has to do with proximity.
Shit! Look out! Move! Over here!
The game's telling you otherwise. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hit you.
Another way off.
Other than that, is there anything else here? I'm still focusing on the melee weapon. Because in part 1... Look right down here. In part 1, you know, it had the durability of the blades, and then another thing for the durability of the melee weapon itself. I'm wondering if once that's through, will you still have 3 hits left for the melee weapon, or does it just break altogether? I don't know. The care you need, the people you trust. Yeah, okay. Trust nobody. As evidenced by that first girl that Ellie stabbed in the throat.
That you, Nora?
In the jugular. That you, Nora? There's nothing much really here. Just dialogue. Let's listen. And Ice Cube.
Maybe if you posted more guards, Abby would still be herself. What the fuck was that?
Sounds like someone named Abby escaped.
Maybe if you posted more guards, Abby would still be herself. What the fuck was Abby here?
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
No. That's stuff we'll figure out when we play the game then. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else here. I'm really annoyed the player didn't pick up the binding.
Don't scream.
Just this.
Put that shit down.
You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
And to be continued June 19th, which is just 3 weeks away from 3 weeks and 2 days. Whew. Ellie's facial expression there, you like?
Yeah. You remember me.
Looks intense. Very intense. Whatever. This game's gonna be something. Whew. I mean, like, it's been bugging me what this game has gone through. Because there's two sides to it. People that are going to shit on the game no matter what. People who have an excuse or a reason to shit on the game because of the leaks. There's all the people that have DM'd the leaks and the spoilers and all that, and it's just like... And... I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I talked about this before, but I'm not quite sure what's been bugging me more. The fact that somebody leaked the game, or the fact that... No, there's three things. The fact that someone leaked the game. The fact that people are DMing anybody and everybody what the leaks are. Or the fact that people who were excited and were going to buy this game saw the leaks in some way, shape, or form and are now like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it now. What a horrible game. That game sucks. It's like, you have no idea just how unintelligent you sound. Not to mention, there's so many leaks going around right now that... Dude, there's so many, like, incorrect things out there. I think the last one is my least favorite. The leaks, okay. People DMing people the leaks. Alright, whatever. People are bad. People suck. We've known that for as long as humanity has existed. But then the people who are just like, oh, I'm not going to buy it anymore. Like, what? With regards to the stuff that Naughty Dog has intentionally shown off, what about that doesn't get you excited? Seriously. Because what's happening with this game, no game should have to suffer through. I don't care what game it is. The culling, Battlefront 2, I don't care what. No game should have to suffer what this game went through. Pre-release. Nothing. I like to think the people who are saying all those things were never intent on buying it in the first place. Like, look, throughout the years, people have been asking me, it's like, oh, this big game's coming out. Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, Days Gone, Death Stranding. It's like, oh my god, are you going to play it? Are you going to play it? Hey, Ann, are you going to play it? And it's like, not really. Not really. I'm just not super excited for that game. And look, myself and a lot of other people here have to realize that there are just some people who just aren't excited for this game. And that's fine. If this isn't your type of game, then so be it. We can just talk in a respectful way about how you're missing out, but okay, I can respect that. Look, I didn't play Death Stranding. It just didn't look like my kind of game, but people loved it. Just didn't look right for me. But it's the people who were excited for this game, bought the Ellie and Collector's Edition, or pre-ordered, and were legitimately looking forward to the game. And now that the leaks are out, they're just like, oh, no, that game is bad. I'm not going to buy it. look what they did to the franchise. It's bad. No. You have no idea just how unintelligent that sounds. And I know unintelligence. I have to listen to myself every day. It's like, this isn't how a game should be handled. And that's just not from me being a Naughty Dog fanboy. Obviously, I'm looking forward to this game because I've made a career out of Part 1. But goddamn, man, out of everything that's happened, out of everything that's happened with this game, it's the people changing their mind after reading the leaks and then trying to save people $60. That's what gets me. That's what really gets me. Throughout all of this, people sending Neil Druckmann death threats, either because they're homophobic or they just didn't like what they had to read in terms of what the game is about. Oh man, you should have seen the comments I've gotten. Comments, DMs, some of it spoilers, some of it just some of the things people have to say that are just angry. They're angry and I just don't know why. What about what we saw today makes you think this game's going to be bad? Now, look, something that's been coming up is like, oh, imagine... I've seen it both sides. It's like, oh, imagine defending a game you haven't played. Same thing for the other way. Oh, imagine praising a game that you haven't played. It goes both ways. If this game ends up not being that great, dude, who do you think's going to be the first person to say so? Me. I'm going to be the first one to say it. I'm not going to hold back on my opinion from it. If there's something in the game that's fantastic, I'm going to tell you that. If there's something bad about the game, dude, I ain't going to hold back. I'm not even going to try and defend it. Look, the AI in Part 1 is horrible. It's horrible, especially in alert mode. Especially. The story and the pacing is fan-fucking-tastic. The sound design, the dialogue, just voice acting, just the combat is somewhere in the middle. It's great. This game is one of the best modern games ever made. It is. But it has its problems, which I have talked about a lot over the years. I made 2 different glitch videos. One that's 4 hours long, another that's 2.5 hours long, and another, well, then I made a bunch more. You know, teleporting tests, game crashing when you throw a bottle at an infected head, severed head, the not being able to stun clickers, the problem with Shivmaster. Like, I've made certain videos without, like, combining them all into another glitch video. There's a lot wrong with this game. I sort of went off on a tangent here. The point I'm getting across is, even though it's my favorite game ever, and I'd say it's a near perfect 10 out of 10, there's a lot wrong with it. So I won't be shy of a negative opinion with Part 2. Look, to be totally honest, I'm not expecting a lot from the story for Part 2. Because how do you top perfection? Part 1's story is basically perfect. Some parts better than others, but it's basically perfect. How do you top that? You can't. They're not going to be able to, no matter what. But there is so much potential with the gameplay. So much potential. then that's good enough for me, man. Trying to think of anything else. This is definitely going on YouTube. But yeah, it's just no game, despite whether it ends up being good or bad, deserves to be released and talked about in this way. It's just, yeah. We'll see June 19th. We'll see. And I will let you all know what I think of it. And even just to tell you, yeah, you need to experience this. I'll let you know.